In the fading golden afternoon at the edge of a dusty western train station, Clara sat alone on a weathered wooden bench, her long open hair catching the sunlight as it moved gently in the warm breeze, her blue pioneer dress worn but neat, her hands trembling slightly as she held the letter that had changed everything, a letter written in careful ink by a man she had never truly met, a man who had sent for her across hundreds of miles with promises of a home, safety, and a future, yet now those promises felt fragile and uncertain as the weight of the unknown pressed heavily on her chest, her heart torn between fear and hope, when suddenly a small boy stepped in front of her, no more than 5 years old, his boots dusty, his curls bright in the sun, his eyes wide with innocence as he silently offered her a single yellow wildflower, a simple gift that carried more kindness than the entire letter in her hands. And Clara looked down at him in surprise, her breath catching as if the world had paused, because in that small gesture she felt seen not as a package delivered by train or a bride chosen by distance, but as a person, a woman whose feelings mattered, and as she lifted her eyes she noticed the man approaching behind the child, tall and steady, his hat casting a shadow over eyes filled not with ownership but concern, a man whose life had been shaped by hard land and harder choices, yet who now walked toward her not to claim her but to protect what little goodness remained. In a place where laughter often came cruelly from the wrong mouths, and indeed those mouths were not far away, a group of rough men lingering by the platform, pointing and smirking as if the entire scene were a form of entertainment, their laughter sharp against the quiet hum of the station, reminding Clara of why she had left her old life behind and how dangerous this new one could become if kindness failed her now. Yet the boy did not flinch and neither did the man, who placed himself just close enough to shield them both without a single threatening word, and in that silence Clara realized something deeper than fear had been growing inside her all along, a quiet strength she had not known she possessed, for the journey that brought her here had not been easy, filled with nights of doubt, memories of home, and the ache of being unwanted in a world that offered women few choices beyond survival, and yet here, in this moment, surrounded by dust and strangers, a child's flower and a man's unspoken respect offered her a choice she had not expected, a choice to stay not because she was obligated but because she was welcomed, and as she folded the letter slowly and placed it beside her bag she felt tears blur her vision, not of regret but relief, because she finally understood that courage was not in arriving with certainty but in standing still long enough to feel the truth of what was before her. And when she looked at the man again she saw not a cowboy shaped by loneliness, but someone willing to build something better if she chose to remain, and when she smiled at the child and accepted the flower, the station seemed to soften, the wind quieter, the laughter in the distance losing its power, as if the land itself approved of this small act of humanity, and Clara knew that whatever hardships lay ahead, storms, judgment, loss, they would be faced not alone but with purpose, and as the sun dipped lower and the train's echo faded into memory, she remained on that bench not as a woman waiting to be sent back, but as one who had arrived exactly where she was meant to be, choosing her future not by fear or expectation, but by the simple truth revealed in a single, hopeful moment.